But the reason I would keep on saying voter ID, because this coronavirus crisis, I don't want to skip this over because it was a big the stimulus, the Corona bus, as I call it, the $2.2 trillion bill. Nancy Pelosi initially was trying to obviate or overturn the voter ID laws in 35 states in her initial plan. So the scheme was to impose a vote mail system across the nation with virtually no ability to check the voter ID of anyone voting by mail, and also impose national ballot harvesting. Now, thankfully, the Republicans in the Senate were not playing that game, and they pulled it out. The compromise was to give extra money to a federal agency involved in election administration to help with states manage their elections during the coronavirus crisis. But what I'm telling you is that the left is trying to use the coronavirus crisis to undermine security of our elections nationally. They're trying to get mail-in ballots for everybody and everyone, which necessarily leads to fraud. It's one of the worst. If you're trying to protect against fraud, the worst thing you can do is mail everyone a ballot and then not require any ID to vote by mail. I believe we should just have the elections normal, but the idea that we have this massive vote by mail scheme would be an abomination to clean elections. I say when I put it online, I use that. And they also want national ballot harvesting that would allow third parties to go around and collect ballots. Another for fraud. 35 states require voter IDs in order to vote, some type of voter ID. Pelosi's scheme is to overturn all of that with this national vote by mail scheme. So they lost this time. They're going to come back for whatever the next bill is, and they're going to come back and push and push and push. And I want you to know about it, and I want you to be calling your elected officials every time you think about the issue, both in your state and in your Congress. So your congressmen, your senators, your state legislators, and your governors. Voter ID laws. And if you live in a state you don't have a voter ID law, get them passed. Push for that. Because if you got, in our case, our studies found most recently 2.5 million extra names on the rolls. Are those names going to get ballots? You move from Virginia, they don't remove your name. Moves into the house after you and gets a ballot in your name. Not going to work. It's mighty tempting in terms of voter fraud, isn't it? That's why we need elections. We clean election rolls because dirty election rolls can mean dirty elections. We're going to see that readily with this giant push for voter mail, vote by mail. So that is, we're gonna lose our economy, our liberty, and our right to select our leaders all in a few months eventually if we don't watch it, folks. Don't you think?
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all the latest news from Judicial Watch.